Hi, and welcome back to my channel. StruggleSec here, and today we're going to go over something very practical, a very practical example for individuals who might be entry levels, just starting in cybersecurity, or people that are even experienced and seasoned who just might not be informed of this very practical thing that we do as security practitioners, and that's find a job. I think that a lot of times we can look at those technical skills as being something that's very important to understand and learn. Having the theory, understanding how to do pen testing and utilizing the tools within security. But another thing that's very important are that of searching for jobs. You need to be able to find a job because certs, experience are the things that will really set you apart from many people in the field, and just be able to get your hands dirty and kind of get your hands into the muck and the mire of cybersecurity. So today we're going to go over an example where we're going to be looking at LinkedIn. LinkedIn as a source, I've used it many times in looking for jobs, finding jobs, and just connecting with other professionals within the field. So I'm going to go ahead and just start here. We're going to transition here to LinkedIn. So this is the overall LinkedIn interface, where you see a couple of things, and one thing that it has is the job function. So there are a couple of different things that you can click up here, and this one specifically is jobs. So I already have some pre-populated information in here for you. So what I put in here was that of entry-level cybersecurity analyst. And that's something that anybody can go for, right? People who are newer to the field, people who have been in the field, or you're just looking to kind of just getting more into cybersecurity. And some of these job postings had popped up here, right? So I had put entry-level cybersecurity analyst. And the one that I want to zoom in here is for the cybersecurity analyst. So there are different types of job titles and job roles, where typically the analyst is more of an entry-level to a mid-level title for somebody in the field. So we're going to look at this cybersecurity analyst role for Dell Technologies. And for those who know about computers or anything in computers, Dell is one of those computer manufacturing companies. Actually, one of my first laptops was out of a Dell. So we're going to just zoom in here a little bit. You can see the title more. So let's just break this down. Let's go step by step. I'm going to zoom through it or zoom in on the subjects and kind of just go step by step, breaking down what a cybersecurity job role is, and then some notes and things that you should take away from this so that you can be able to better apply to these type of jobs. So you see here, it just gives kind of some front matter about the role. It's a full-time role. Right, it's probably say between like a full-time, you might even see contract here, or part-time role. This one is a full-time role. Some other things that you can see here is that it says it's in Round Rock, Texas, but it looks like it has a remote option here. So that's very good, right? I think everybody wants to work remotely. I work remotely. I've been working remotely since 2016, 2017 or so. So it's just been a very good thing where I can handle things at home, but also work for very good companies and do some pretty cool things in technology. So Dell Technologies, Round Rock, Texas, remote. It was posted 2 weeks ago, so it's fresh. There are around 7 applicants right now. And again, mentioned that was a full-time role. Let's get into some of the information. So this just gives information about Dell Technologies as an organization. This might be important, right? To just zoom in to really understand about Dell and their, posture in cybersecurity, where we see Dell Technologies' commitment to serving our customers is second only to our desire to protect our customers. Going down a little bit more, it's talking about the team, right? So working with a team of incident responders and threat intel analysts. You will be responsible for providing analysis of events generated by our SIM and EDR tool sets. And those are things that a lot of times when I'm looking at a job posting, these are acronyms that you as a beginner or somebody who is in the field, you might not know what these mean. So SIM, I'll typically just take this, copy it, right? And then go and just see what a SIM is. So here I'm seeing that a SIM says security, information, and event management. So if I'm looking for some type of learning or some understanding about this particular role, I'll just go to Wikipedia or some other websites and be able to understand what a SIM actually is. Some people say SIM, some people say SIEM, I say SIM. So, but we know that SIMs are right there with what this role will encompass. So SIM, and it says also EDR tool sets. We're gonna do that one too. We're gonna do EDR. I'm gonna do cybersecurity just to be specific here. So it says EDR, okay, endpoint detection and response. So I would just do some research about Dell's EDR solution or just what EDR solutions are in general. So just starting from the top, I'm seeing those two things pop out to me. And what you'll also be doing is managing a queue of incidents and working alongside senior engineers. Okay. So it kind of gets more into this cybersecurity analyst role. It says you'll be a member of a Tier 1 SOC researching, validating, and responding to threats for global customers. Okay, that's good. And I might even research what a Tier 1 SOC is, right? What is a SOC? SOC stands for Security Operations Center. So that might be something you want to go into too, right? You might want to work in a SOC or just have that understanding as you're breaking down this job role. And then it gets to where these places or join us to do work. And again, it was saying remote was an option, but it looks like a lot of this is based in Texas or Oklahoma City. So if you're there, that's also good too. And like I said before, right, this is popping up again, this SIM and EDR tools for suspicious activity. I would really, seeing that this is repeated, I would really drill down, if I wanted this role, I would really drill down into SIMs and EDR tools and really just have a very good knowledge base and understanding of what these are, because this role aligns greatly to SIMs and EDRs within a SOC environment. What you'll be doing, you'll be prioritizing events and elevate them as needed, conduct initial analysis of infected hosts, and analyze network traffic to identify attacker activity. So we have some networking here. We have some analysis of infected hosts. I would really just go to YouTube University and Google University. I've enrolled in both of those myself, right? Just going to Google and YouTube and just searching what it looks like to analyze hosts for malicious activity. I would literally like copy and paste that and put that into search engines to really have a great understanding of what I will be doing in this role. So network traffic analysis and analysis of infected hosts. Those are very important things. And a lot of times these are important, but many of those SIM and EDR tools, they do a lot of this. They automate a lot of these processes, but having an understanding of what it does and how it does it is also important here. So it looks like there is some structure here. So you will notify internal teams at L2 and L3 engineers, because as we saw before up here, you'll be at a Tier 1 SOC. So these are some other roles that are there. L2 and L3, level 2 and level 3 engineers in security incidents, utilizing technical knowledge to follow procedures. And as follows, provide feedback for security monitoring runbooks, review security related events, assess their risk and validate and validity based on available network endpoints and global threat intelligence information. This is all good stuff. This is all good stuff to just research. You're also seeing here that you will be researching and making recommendations for applying MITRE, M-I-T-R-E, attack and NIST framework. Those are two other keywords that I would pull out here and just go straight to Google University. Let's just go to this first one, because I know that this will have a lot of hits. So you're looking at the MITRE attack, and that's a framework here and here. I'm just gonna, the MITRE attack framework. So the best place to go for the MITRE attack framework is attack.mitre.org. And this will give a very good understanding of what the MITRE attack framework is and kind of how you can use this as a security practitioner, because in this role, that'll be what you'll be doing. You'll be making recommendations for applying MITRE attack framework in the NIST framework. NIST is another one. I'll just take it and throw it here. And as you're seeing me put these links up here, feel free to go to these yourself. And the NIST framework is here. Just going to these, really have a good understanding here, because, and I do want to pull this out too, right? Having an understanding of these frameworks and these tools and these systems and solutions is important, but you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a subject matter expert on any of this stuff, because really you get that experience from working in a role or working to solve a solution while applying this. So don't think that you have to know this in and out. Don't think that you have to have read through every single documentation that applies to these keywords that is in this job posting. You pull some of this stuff out, you have a good understanding, you can speak to it intelligently, and then you apply it once you get the job. You apply it once you get into the role. So don't feel intimidated by these different frameworks or these solutions. Just have a good understanding and a knowledge of it. Back to the posting. Let's look at that. Okay, so now it gets into some requirements. And I would say that, probably the best thing I can say about these requirements or any requirements on any job posting is that most of these requirements, or mostly any requirements, is an organization or a hiring manager saying that this is what I want, this is what I desire, but it doesn't say that you need to have all of these things in order to get this role, right? So here we see the first requirement is giving typically requires 2+ years of related experience in cybersecurity operations with a bachelor's degree in information technology, computer science, and incident management. That's a big ask, right? Somebody coming into an organization with all this cybersecurity, 2+ years of experience within a SOC or cybersecurity operations center, and a bachelor's degree in information technology or computer science. Most organizations are not going to get all this in one candidate. Not saying that you won't have these specifications or these requirements, but don't feel that you need to have every single one of these bullet points in order for you to apply to this role. I say apply no matter what. Apply, especially this 2+ years of experience. 2+ years of experience pretty much means entry level. I would even say 0 to 2 years for this type of role. Just looking at what it'll do, like looking at some of the requirements for this role. The next one that we're seeing is that any security certifications from the following are considered a plus. Pull that out, right? Considered a plus. That's the operating phrase here. You don't need to have these certifications in order to apply to this role or even to work in this role. They're considering this as a plus in getting into the role. So that's one thing that I think that is very important here. And again, do not be intimidated by seeing these things. Just understand that these are a plus. So you can actually get some of these certifications beforehand. I wouldn't say the SANS GCIA, the GCIH. These are not entry-level certifications, or even looking at the CCIE, that's like the highest level of Cisco certifications for that organization. These are not entry-level certifications. The GRIM is not an entry-level certification. The GCFE is also not an entry-level certification, and definitely not the OSCP, right? None of that is entry-level. I would say the only one that's probably decently attainable, which I wouldn't even say is an entry-level certification. I would say that it's probably, for networking, it's maybe entry to mid-level certification. You could possibly get this one before you even apply for this job. But again, think about it as considered a plus. So when you're talking to a recruiter about this particular role or the hiring manager about this role, you can be studying towards any of these certifications. You can say, hey, the CCNA is something that I'm studying for. I haven't yet obtained it, but I've used some of the knowledge in order to do certain labs and do certain things within the field. So those are things that are important. So again, you don't need to have these. These are a plus, as it says here. The next one is having the knowledge of incident response, traffic and malware analysis, forensics and analysis of security and infrastructure logs, knowledge of ServiceNow. So this is a lot here, right? These are each one of these: incident response, traffic and malware analysis, forensics. These can all be one specification that you focus on for the entirety of your cybersecurity career. So again, don't feel intimidated by seeing this. These are just nice to haves. And really, I would, again, go to YouTube University, Google University, put in incident response and understand some of what that is. Traffic and malware analysis, put in some of what that is, or understand some of what that is. Forensics, just be able to speak to these things. But another one I would say to really focus in on here is ServiceNow. That's an actual product. right? ServiceNow, I think they even have certifications that are associated with ServiceNow. So that might be something that you can get more depth into. I think they even have certifications for them. So you might even be able to get that ServiceNow certification for before you even apply here. So that is, and then let's see what else here. In these two, previous experience delivering end-to-end cybersecurity incident response solutions. Again, a nice to have, but you don't need to have that. And this one is just kind of at the bottom of almost every single one of these job postings. So again, looking at this here, the cybersecurity analyst, that's the role. We did a little bit of a breakdown. Feel free to go back over some of those things that I was speaking about, really pulling things out about SIM and EDR tool sets, understanding the incident response process, analysis of infected host, or analyze network traffic. So another thing that I think that's important in looking at this, because one thing that they didn't point out was that of salary, right? How do you know, say for instance, you get the interview and you get to the point where they're trying to negotiate a salary. One place that's very important to go to, and I already have it pulled up here, is for Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a really good website that gives some self-reported salaries. People who are actually in these roles, they can tell their salaries, and it'll give you a good understanding of where you can negotiate for that particular role. So we're looking here, and like I had before, we looked at Dell Technologies, and you can just put this into Google or go directly to Glassdoor yourself. But the role that I have here is for the Dell Technologies Security Analyst salaries. And some things that we want to point out here, let me just get this in the right position, is that the average base salary is $77,633 per year. And that's a great salary, right? For an entry level or entry to mid-level salary for a cybersecurity role. And the thing that we want to look at here is that it has high confidence that that is the base salary for many of these roles, because it says that it means that the data is based on some fresh, recent salary reports. And what it does is that they take out some of those older self-reports from several years ago. So they really have vetted this particular salary. And again, it's based upon 9 different salaries. So that's the average base salary, but even this additional pay, this may come in the form, and one person has reported this. So this may come in the form as a sign-on bonus or a performance bonus. So, and we can also look here to see that this is the range of the salaries that were reported, anywhere from $63,171 to $130,930 per year for this security analyst role. So, as I said before, we just did a little bit of a breakdown of roles, or a role within cybersecurity for the security analyst for Dell. Feel free to go back to kind of break it down to look at that. But LinkedIn and Glassdoor are very good places that I've used as I've struggled at times to find different roles. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and we'll probably do more of these. We'll probably look at mid-level and senior level roles, but hopefully this has been helpful. LinkedIn, Glassdoor for salaries and for job postings. Hopefully this has been good. Thank you. And come back again to struggle along with me, where we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. Thanks.